Now, we'll be also hiring potentially more doctors and nurses. I don't know where we're getting them from. We may have to look to Cuba, possibly India, and we may have to look to retired nurses as well, maybe in the U.S. Canadian diaspora, and Antiguans living in the diaspora who are available, who can come here and work for a few months. We need to provide some temporary employment for nurses, retired nurses here in Antigua and Barbuda, so that we can scale up the amount of healthcare professionals available. Because we have a problem with the Nugent Avenue facility, which will be renamed the Sir Cutwin Lake Medical Center. The problem is we don't have enough manpower to operate that facility, so we need healthcare workers soonest. And if there are nurses within the system who are qualified, we'll ask them to present themselves as well, so that we can scale up the amount of nurses. I mean, we know too that our nurses are under a lot of stress and strain. And I also want to apologize too. I mean, we had a faux pas yesterday. Apparently the nurses were to be paid their overtime. And for some reason, the bureaucracy, even though the check was actually issued to pay them, for some reason the bureaucracy didn't get it right. And unfortunately, the nurses were not paid, and I'm told as a result, there are no vaccinations taking place today and tomorrow. That is so unfortunate, because the last thing we want to do is to lose momentum. And this is where, from time to time, we see public servants dropping the ball. I mean, the check was apparently issued over a week ago. Then apparently some bureaucrat in the Ministry of Health said that the check had to be done over. And to get a replacement check, I mean, no one had the common sense to make sure that it got done and to ensure that the nurses get paid on a timely basis. Now, I can't fault the nurses, for not showing up to work. I mean, even though my preference would have been for them to exercise a little more patience. And the unfortunate thing about it is only today, after the fact, we were told about it. Because if we knew that this was going to develop yesterday, we'll definitely push them to get it done. We're given all the assurances that they would have had the payments ready for the nurses, and they just dropped the ball. And this type of performance, in the 21st century, is just totally unacceptable. I mean, that type of performance is, just inimical to growth and development. I mean, they have literally undermined the vaccination process by virtue of their incompetence. And I'm not happy about it, but that's an issue for another time. So, again, as I said, we are scaling up. Making sure that we have more facilities available, and we going the extra mile to ensure we're in a position to treat our people. In fact, we had an issue too with vaccines. We're running low on vaccines, both for the AstraZeneca and the Pfizer. So we've been trying to borrow some vaccines from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Comrade Ralph had given me a commitment that he would assist with some AstraZeneca. And the understanding too, if we get some Pfizer from him and maybe some from Comrade Roosevelt Skerritt in Dominica, we will reimburse him as soon as we get our second tranche from the United States. We've been told too that the United States is getting ready to roll out the second tranche of the Pfizer vaccines for those countries who are ready for the second tranche.